So hello everyone. So welcome to the Embodying Your Inner Light podcast, episode number, I think 12. But other than that, welcome in. My name is Crystal, and if you haven't watched any of my videos or seen anything I've done before, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a full spectrum empath, and I'm an intuitive reader. My main thing that I love to do, besides all the other little things I do, like readings and doing energy attunements, is I'm all about empath empowerment. I'm an empath empowerment coach, is what I call it, because it's probably the best thing about it. And so it'll be 35 years this year that I have been a professional reader and doing different energy work. And the interesting thing is when I'm trying to think about what to talk about in the next podcast, across the board, I'm looking at, the readings, even the ones that I've done in the past 5 months that I've been doing live readings on TikTok. I've looked across the board, and the main subject or main real thread that runs through all of it, even if somebody's asking about, they're confused about what's going on in their relationship, am I on my path? What am I supposed to be doing? Should I make a career shift? It's all about questions, when you boil it down to, is talking about they don't feel empowered in their lives. And I thought, okay, I've done a lot of different podcasts that talk about very specific subjects, like how to clear and clean your own energy, clear and clean the energy in your space. Yes, those are great tools to help you. But this isn't like across the board huge subject that is not focused on directly. And so that's why I wanted to cover this today. And that's why I was calling this Embody Your Light. Now, I do have notes because I can kind of go all over the place, and I want to make sure I stay on task, so to speak, because I'm very passionate about this and I want to be able to help. So, and what I did too, something a little different this time, I pulled a couple cards to get some guidance, so to speak, asking my angels and guides what to focus on here. We're going to pull and talk about these, and I brought the books along because there's some information in the books about these specific cards that I want to share with you. But it's very interesting that I'll at least let you know this, because this is going to come into play later. So these are the 3 elements of what we are talking about that are kind of like your power points in this. The first one is astral realm, which is talking about karmic release, healing the lineage, and boundaries. I know that dirty word, right? It's okay, guys. We got this. Okay. The next one is drifter. It says experiencing life as it comes. And the next one is expansion. So we're going to talk about these cards. Oh, I probably should have shown you, but it's like you really can't truly see these. I've got the camera so far back, but I wanted you to be able to see, and I can move around as much. The other one was the drifter one. And I will have a photograph of all of these. Don't worry. It might even be what I use as the thumbnail, so you'll get to see what these cards are. And we're going to talk about these specifically and what they have to do with this one. So let's go ahead and start about so when I said embodying your inner light, what does that really mean? Okay. So your inner light is, we'll go down to this one. So your inner light has to do with your heart chakra, your heart space. This isn't just where we love from. This is literally the seat of our soul. So this is our power station, so to speak. But this is also where our inner navigation, our North Star, our intuition, and our discernment, they reside. Now, also in there, the third tier to this is our inner child. So our heart center is like our power center. This is our inner authenticity. So when I'm talking about your inner light, I am talking about the very unique, beautiful configuration that is you as this soul in this human body. Okay. So when we're talking about embodying that inner light, is how can we be more about rising up, blossoming, just glowing from the inside out, connecting with our power station. Because understand, our heart is where we love from. The love and the connection that we feel with others, the energy that we put into things, our caring, compassion, all of these are these beautiful energies that make us who we are. Our creativity flows from here. So everything that makes us uniquely who we are is all based here. So when I'm talking about embodying your inner light, it's about getting outside of this, which is usually like, what is somebody thinking? What's going on? What will they like this? What's going, it's all being caught in that little hamster wheel that rolls around in there. And when we get caught up in that, when we're caught up in what is going on in the world outside of us and not tapping in here to explore the world from, instead, we're taking that energy from our power center. Remember, this is, the seed of who we are. Our authenticity sits here, but it's also our intuition, which is, intuition is if you walk in the room and you're like, oh, the energy feels good, feels bad. Your intuition, oh, I have a feeling if I go do this, this will happen. That's your intuition. Kind of like that little smoke alarm or the little beep, 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 the backup alarm. That's what your intuition is. Now, your discernment is when you are able to tap into what's going on here, remember, because that's where it sits, and you're able to look at the situation. Say you get the inkling, well, this doesn't feel like this might be a good idea. And then your discernment comes in and you're like, okay, well, why am I feeling that way? Is it because maybe there's somebody there that I usually don't get along with, or maybe that's just not my style of event or something? That discernment kicks in. So these are two incredibly important elements that we need to be able to use, especially as empaths moving forward. That is our power center, but that empowers us, right, to take it outside of us and putting us back into the driver's seat. So let's go. So we talked about basically, why does that matter? It's pretty essential because it's not only your inner light and everything and who you are. That is also like an ear marker of what's going on, your spiritual growth, your personal empowerment, all of those things. And understand when we are not really tuned in to that energy, if we're not connecting with it intentionally, even if it's throughout the day, one hand over the heart and connecting in, or just taking a moment to just breathe in and focus here. If we're not doing that enough, what gets to start creeping in is fear, doubt, and and it's interesting because I wrote down societal expectations. And that is because of what we think that other people may perceive us as. Those are all of those feelings and thoughts are from here. They're not coming from here. So when those start to rise up, it's okay. Don't worry. I still do this too. I still have times where I have to take a deep breath, hand on the heart throughout the day and recenter myself. But we're all human, my dear. We're souls in a human body. But while we were in this human body, guess what's part of it? The brain. And the brain was created to be able to, yes, control and move this body that we're in. But one of the mechanisms that that we evolved with was the desire to make sure we stay alive and it keeps us safe and all those things. So all those little doubts and worries and things that came up, many of those are those. A lot of them are going to be ones that happened along the way. So imagine our brain is kind of like a computer that's also recording and keeping track of a lot of things that we experience throughout our life, things that people have said in the past, experiences we've had. All of that stuff is happening up here. So when we start having old memories that kick up that may pause us from like stepping into something that may be, an exciting new thing, and it holds us back, that fear or doubt, what is happening in that is the energy's back up here. So I'll talk more about that as we go along, but I wanted to make sure I kind of tapped in so you understand. And I've also pulled a couple of quotes in here. I love a good quote. Gosh, I love a good quote because the purpose of a good quote is to make you stop. It's like slowing down just enough. It's like the world putting a speed bump in to slow down and then really try to, be more aware of the whole picture, not the little narrow-minded. So I love a good quote. I just love a good quote. So this one says, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop." That was a quote by Rumi. Oh, I love. If you don't know who Rumi is, and don't get me wrong, they lived, I think it was in the 12th century. In short, there's amazing quotes. The name is spelled R-U-M-I, if you want to look it up, and look up quotes by Rumi. And there's a lot of very, very cool. Talk about some good, delicious quotes to kind of get your brain working with. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about understanding what your inner light, what is it? And let's see. And so we talked about the soul light and who you are in here. your feelings, your emotions, everything within your body is being tapped into in here. When we're going around with here with the fear and the doubt and the assessing, we're up here. We've pulled away from our energy center, right? So when we are connecting with our inner light, that's the things that what lights us up, what interests us, what gets us curious. All of these things about us, many of us have, many different things that we're interested in. Oh my goodness, I've got this whole stack of books over here, and it's every time I keep looking at it, I'm kind of sad and kind of have to chuckle because there's a ton of England travel books. Because I've been 5 times and I can't wait to go again later this year. I love exploring. I love museums. I love vintage textiles. It's a whole thing. So when I'm talking about things that light you up and you're passionate about, that's one of mine. But this is what I'm talking about. That's how you can also tell when you're really tapping in. So when I tell people, yes, loving the things that I do, even planning a trip over there lights me up. Well, guess what? That's my soul lighting up. That's that green light letting you know that's a direction to go. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and why that's soul food. Finding different ways. Sometimes it's rediscovering things that you put aside. That also helps feed your light, helps keeping it healthy, my dear. Okay, because we're talking about how to forget, like we said, conditioning, past trauma. Like I said, when you have a lot of these old emotions and things that start rising up when you're moving through life, the doubt things, they're rising up not to kind of trip us up. They're meant to rise up because they're trying to release, to heal. But in that process of releasing and healing those things, your light gets a little bit brighter. Because imagine your heart chakra is kind of like a lotus flower that's tightly closed at many times during our lives, which can be unfortunate. But as it starts to open up, there is said to be 33 energetic petals within the heart chakra. And as those open up, as you start opening up and exploring and touching into things that light you up, they start to open up. The hard part is people don't realize is as that starts to open up, it also is an incredible opportunity for anything, old feelings and thoughts and negative things that are holding you back to start rising up to release. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Oh my gosh. And it's interesting too, because I want to talk about that. And I've done ones just about how to sit with feelings and stuff. And we'll go more into that in another episode in that. But the main focus, like I said, was this, is to get more of an idea, more of a concrete idea of what your inner light is and how you can tell if it's dimming, because that's the definite one, is when you are wrestling with a lot of doubt and fear and all of those things. And there's no replenishment. You're kind of running on what I call your soul hangry. You're running on E in there, and you're not having enough little bits of things that light you up. Things, and it can be as little as maybe you used to love to sketch and draw and play with different colorful pens and markers when you were younger, and you decide to, get out a sketch pad and start playing around with things, and that the thought of that lights you up. That is another thing that expands that heart chakra. Okay, so we're talking about the inner light and everything and what it actually is and why it's incredibly important and how we forget it. Because as we go through our regular day-to-day lives, a lot of the stuff that we're doing on a day-to-day basis, yes, the things that we have to do right now, like work and bills and focus on family and relationships and so many things outside of us, we have to also make sure we're still giving time for replenishment, time for what I call soul food. And I'm going to stop this moment just to tell you one little exercise along the way that will help you, because I know this might start sounding really overwhelming. You're like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to start getting paranoid. I'm not doing things, but what if I have a crazy busy schedule? Well, I will tell you this. I have an exercise for you. It takes less than a minute in the morning. It takes less than a minute at night. And if you do this on a pretty consistent basis, you're going to start finding that soul food kicking back in. It's almost like taking little vitamins to kind of get your inner light to really start to bloom again. So it's a super easy exercise. The best time to do it is first thing in the morning. So as you're starting to wake up, before you pick up your phone, before you start thinking about your to-do list or the I didn't get this done list yesterday thing, any of that, just take a moment as you're just starting to wake up and you're starting to realize kind of, hey, what's going on thing. take a moment and put one hand over the other, right over your heart space, okay? And then just take a deep breath in, a deep breath out, and then say the words, thank you. And when you say these words and your hands are placed right over your heart, you're going to actually feel those words vibrate right through your heart and your heart chamber, right through to the palms of your hands. And what are you doing? You're connecting with your heart space. Remember, this is the seat of our soul. This is where we love from. This is our inner North Star, right? And our inner child is also in there. So when we do this exercise in that, breath in, breath out, and the gratitude energy, we are starting our day off filling our heart space up with love and gratitude. We're letting our inner child know that, hey, we're here. We got you. This is going to be okay. And it's checking in. It's toning in to who we are. And as we do that, we're filling up our heart space with love and gratitude. And we are teaching our heart that we deserve love, gratitude, attention, all of those beautiful energies first thing in the morning. Now, throughout the day, you're going to have, we're all human. I still do this a lot. Some days, a whole lot, right? It's a little tool to use throughout the day that takes what you've already done first thing in the morning and uses it to help you. So during the day, you start feeling frustrated, you start feeling anxiety, any of these things, just take a moment, put one hand over your heart and just breathe in and breathe out. When you do that action throughout the day, you don't have to do the hand over the heart and the breath in and breath out and the thank you, right? Because when you do that, you trigger your brain to remember what you just did that morning. And when you do this, you start to lower your anxiety. You start to lower your frustration. You also start refilling your heart with love and gratitude. Okay, so use that as often as you need to throughout the day. So at the end of the day, before you go to sleep for the night, you do the hand over the heart, right? Breath in, breath out, and say thank you. Now with each of those, I say the best thing to do is at least 3 in a row, which means, hand over the heart, breath in, breath out, thank you. Then do it again, breath in, breath out, thank you. Do that 3 times in a row, first thing in the morning and at the end of the day. And remember, throughout the day, hand of the heart. Okay? So as you can see, super easy to do, right? It takes a couple of moments in the morning, a couple of minutes at night. I mean, not even a couple of minutes, sorry, a couple of moments at night. And it gives you something throughout the day to kind of help you out, to kind of refill. Because, throughout the day, we're loving and doing and giving things and giving attention and energy and all of that. We start running low. You don't want to be soul hangry, remember? So as you can see, super easy to do. It doesn't mean every day you've got to sit 3 hours of meditation. You don't have to do that. I've got lots of things like this to help you with. So I just wanted to pause long enough to share that first. Okay, so we talked about signs of all of this. And here's another great quote. This one is by Dr. Wayne Dyer, who passed away a few years ago, but an amazing speaker and teacher for decades. If you want to go look something up that's very inspirational, go look up Dr. Wayne Dyer. There's several videos of a lot of his talks. He wrote several books. Great guy. But I have one of his quotes in here, and it says, "When you are living in the light of your truth, there is no darkness. There is only the light of your being." Oof, I just love that one. Okay. Ooh. Okay, sorry, that was a good one. That's what I said. I love a good quote. Love a good quote. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a moment, and we're going to go ahead and look at the cards that I pulled when I was asking my guides for some information going along with this. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this first one here, the Ancestral Realm, which is karmic release, healing the lineage, and boundaries. Okay, so it says, in every incarnation, we have been blessed to be a part of the lineage that helps us live our life and embark on learning experiences. And for hundreds and even thousands of years, those who have walked the earth before us have prayed for a better life. We are an answer to those prayers. Even though they may no longer be on the physical plane, our ancestors are living through our choices and experiences. None of our ancestors had it perfect after all. They were human too. Many made poor choices, and and made poor choices. They have mistaken views. Many of their intentions were honorable and many were not. All of this is held within the ancestral lineage, as many are beliefs, ideas, limitations that are outdated, fear-based, and even harmful. All of these karmic energies can hold us back. When someone decides to walk the spiritual path, whether they realize it or not, their life becomes an answer to their ancestors' prayers. When this card comes to you, your life is an answer to a great ancestral call. Ooh, I love this. So this one, the message of this one is, this card initiates healing on all levels, but particularly on the family line. There may be some ideas and beliefs in your family that you find limiting or negative. Know that they need not be your truth, sorry. You have the opportunity to go beyond the challenging energies of your family lineage. If you are in a particularly challenging time or facing energies that are harsh or even overwhelming, the energy of your ancestors is with you now. They are here to hold a sacred and safe space so that you can reset. Your ancestors are surrounding you now. They are here to seek forgiveness for any harmful decisions that were made without full awareness and for any negative effects those are having on you now. If you have found that a particular family member has been difficult or a relationship has been negatively impacted because of situations or ideas that stem from the past, know that a great cleansing is taking place at this time. The ointment for the wound is the energy of forgiveness. This isn't about accepting what has happened as fine, but realizing that the energies of the past no longer govern your present. It's about choosing to create your own happiness and live from your own heart. Keep your boundaries strong, but be open to carving a new path. Oof, that's a good one. So, and it's interesting, when this one came up, I realized, yes, there is a lot of it that's ancestral, as in it could be several generations back, but there is also a lot of it that comes through even our parents, our grandparents, their grandparents, is something that's affecting us these days. And when I was talking earlier about things that rise up, remember I said when the heart chakra starts to open and other energies start to rise up to release and heal? Many of these also are ancestral ones. It could be ones of people that have passed way before us, so we don't remember them. We didn't physically know them in this lifetime. And then there's a lot of the energy of things that have happened maybe when we were children that is rising up to release, to be forgiven and be healed. And understand when I say this, especially coming when I'm just mentioning that this is also talking about people that are be as close in our lineage like our parents. Many of us, me included, experienced a very challenging, to say the least, childhood. But I also understand, as from somebody who has lived that experience and is on the other side of it now, I also understand that I may never have a conversation with any of the people that in my past may have caused wounding in my heart space or caused pauses or doubt or any of those things in my life that has been more challenging. I also can, though, be able, for my own heart space, to be able to say, I release and I forgive you. I know that could be the hardest thing in the world to be able to do this, but I want you to understand, from my heart to yours, it's something, just let that kind of sit there and simmer and understand. It's one of those things. I waited, me personally, I'll share this, I waited many years to hear that, especially even from my mother. And even when my mother was quite ill, and right before she passed away, I still could not have a conversation where she was in the place to be able to say the things that I needed to hear. It's been several years since she's passed, but I will tell you, if nothing else, I have learned by me holding in the need to have that forgiveness come from her and not granting myself the gift of being able to release and do that for myself. It doesn't make anything that happened right or okay, and it doesn't excuse any of the pain that may have caused. But I found a freedom and it comes in layers. So don't feel bad. There may be some times where you may be able to forgive one thing that happened and release, but I just wanted to lay that out there and give you the opportunity to know that there is a way to give those emotions and feelings the space and the grace, and it's your choice for what you do with it, but to let you know that there is a very beautiful sense of being able to be able to start with forgiveness, even if it's just between you and your heart. So I just wanted to share that, guys. Okay, so we're going to go to the next card, and this one is the Drifter. It says, experiencing life as it comes. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the next one, and I'm going to read from the book on this one. It says, what lights you up? We're talking about that. Experiencing life as it comes, seeking the essence, but not knowing the form. The Drifter invites you to step out of your to-do list, remember, like our morning exercise, and your ordinary routine to feel the breeze against your skin, calling you to follow the wind and explore life's opportunities. When the Drifter appears, it's a sign that it's time to cut the mooring lines holding you to the dock. It's not important to know the destination before you set sail. It will become clear as you leave port. Do not wait for a map, as there are none to where you are destined to go. But be sure that you do have a compass to keep you true. Yours is your pure love and your intention to be free, even of your own beliefs and preconceptions. Few appreciate the energy of the Drifter. Here you might not seem to be doing anything worthwhile or meeting someone else's expectations, but you are the only one who understands that others are running full out on the hamster wheel. Gosh, I was just talking about that. And getting nowhere. Your laziness is an unappreciated virtue. You know that life will find you and bring you everything you require without your having to search for it, by simply being instead of a frantic doing. Even as you let your mind wander, releasing it to go on a daily walkabout, call it back home regularly to deliver news from the cosmos. The Drifter helps you find what you are looking for, even when you didn't think you were seeking anything. Man, I just love that. And it's so interesting because this also makes me feel so much about the energy of daydreaming. Something that when we were little, they're like, stop daydreaming. Usually I was told that in the middle of class because my mind was out in the stars somewhere. And then I realize now, it's so funny, as grown-ups, we can give our own timeouts. And things like that. And I think we need to spend a little more doing things that as a child we were so drawn to because we saw the magic in things like daydreaming. And sometimes that may be all you do is put some headphones on, earbuds, and listen to some incredibly beautiful music. Some that has no lyrics. That's the whole point in that. It's so interesting. I've worked with my students a lot, and I started a playlist here in my YouTube channel called Digital Zen. And every video that's on there has things with music with no lyrics, or sometimes it's just 8 hours of listening to the beautiful waves kind of rolling onto the shore on, distant shores. There's a recording down in the Yucatan jungle area, and you can hear all the incredible, beautiful birds, the exotic birds and the animals and things like that. It's amazing. And take some time, even if it's 15 minutes, set the timer on your phone, put something good like that in, close your eyes and allow your mind to wander, daydream a little. That is another thing that's definitely soul food. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the last one here. Sorry, I'm like doing the happy dance because I'm so excited about this. Okay, so the next one is expansion. Okay, expansion. So let's go ahead and read this. Oops, did I grab the wrong book? I don't know. Hold on. That is so funny. I think I did. This is so funny. Hold on a second. I'm going to go. have to grab another book. I am not sure which one I pulled this out of. Let me go grab that. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on. Oh, you can tell these aren't scripted. Hold on. Let's see. Ah, too funny. Okay, guys. The dork is back. I had the wrong book. That's okay. That you got to be able to laugh at yourself. If you don't have a sense of humor, what can I say? You got to have it. So this one says expansion. It says messages from planet Jupiter. Today we are time traveling to the planet Jupiter. What a ride it is. As we land, we can feel our muscles strengthening in its strong gravity field. Even though Jupiter is physically uninhabited by humans, the mystic energy here is remarkable. You and I are both in awe of Jupiter's 79 incredible moons. Everything feels so stunningly expansive, understandably so, as this planet is 318 times as massive as our own planet. Jupiter is so large it is visible to the naked eye from Earth and the third brightest object in the night sky in our solar system. In Roman mythology, the god Jupiter, for whom the planet was named, was considered to be the sky god and king of gods. And also in Greek mythology, he was known as Zeus. Okay, so in astrology, Jupiter is connected with the principles of growth, expansion, healing, prosperity, good fortune, and miracles. And we agree we can both feel the energy of all these qualities in our time here. The message in this card is your life is always expanding in profound and wondrous ways. Vitality and wide open opportunities are at hand. Focus on what you desire to increase your life, and good fortune will follow. Timing is everything, and the time is now, so seize the day. Anything and everything is possible. If there is anything in your life that you want to expand, this is the time to nurture it. In your business life, this card is an indication that expansion will be successful. If you are considering a home renovation or an increase in your social circle of friends, this is the time to move forward. Abounding miracles are growing in your life. Good fortune, growth, expansion, healing, prosperity, and miracles await you. Activate this escalating power and the activity by believing that anything is possible. And it is. Focus on your deepest dreams, and the energy behind this card will help activate them. My goodness, isn't that lovely? Oof. So it's very interesting too that here we are talking about connecting with ancestral lineage and being able to heal and release from that level. And it's also, what a freedom when we're able to start releasing old thought patterns. You know, maybe how we thought and believed 5 years ago, 5 months ago, 5 days ago is different today. And the next one coming up is the drifter. It says experiencing life as it comes. When we stop focusing so much on what's going on outside and start tuning into our own heart space, our own inner guide system, our own GPS. Remember I said it's all in there. We get more connected on who we are on a soul level, which is so much more expansive than these human bodies that we walk around in, my dear. And the last one being expansion. And it's such a beautiful energy. And every one of these also picked up on the idea of connecting deeply with, your imagination and just being curious with the world. And you can do that through daydreaming trips, and things like that, and finding things that light you up. And remember, even with that exercise, you're spending just a couple moments a day really deeply connecting with your heart space, which once again, like I said, literally is the seat of your soul. And as you do these things, you're going to start realizing that many things you can blossom into. There may be things that have been feeling the inspiration of for a very long time. Maybe you've always wanted to start your own business, or maybe you wanted to shift careers for a long time. Something within you, your soul, is calling to you. And I wish I could remember the exact quote, but it had talked about that dreams are just wishes from your soul. And what can I say? It's a beautiful thing. And if nothing else, my whole intention with this was to remind you, guess what? You are incredibly expansive. You are the whole universe within you. Everything that you would need or want to experience, those emotions and energy already lives within the very cells of your body. And you can tap into ancient wisdom through the ancestors, through your angels, guides, loved ones that have passed, by connecting with your heart space. This is the seat of your soul, my dear. And hopefully with all of this, it helps remind you of a few things. I'm just going to check my notes because I know I kind of wandered all over the place, but my heart is in the right place. But yes, yeah, and pretty much it's so funny talking about big PowerPoints. I'm going to have a lot of these things. I will have something you'll be able to download that's like a little workbook that has a lot of information and stuff about the things that were in my notes that I didn't totally cover, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. We still got to connect, and that's what's important. And to let you know, down in the descriptions there will be a link that will take you to my website, and this will be free to download along with several other different things, everything from how to clear and clean your energy in your living space, which can help a big difference in things that are going on. Because understand, especially when you are going through your day-to-day life, you're going through a lot of emotions and stuff, and you're picking things up all day long. And think about that. You're picking up the emotions of people you know, people you don't know, the energy of things going on around you. So when you go home, you've got all that kind of like, you almost have to brush that off. So we don't realize that that can accumulate in energy, just stagnant energy all around the place we live in. There's super easy ways for you to do little tweaks and stuff. I promise it's as literally as easy as the exercise we did earlier that took a minute in the morning and a minute at night. But what it does is it helps clear and reset the energy around you, which will be more nourishing to having you be able to have your inner light glow a little brighter. Along with, there is different tips and tricks and different things to do. There is, if I'm not mistaken, there is like a 3-day mini workshop that you can download for free that's in my website that you can click on. It's just a digital download, and that workshop is all about resetting and clearing your internal energy, who you are in here, because we carry around all that other stuff. Yes, we can clear it out and recharge it in our space, but we need to do it with us. Understand, we are literally like, we are like lint filters in the universal dryer is the best way to explain it. And it can get full. And just like the lint filter in your dryer, guess what? If you don't clean it out, guess what? That load of towels you put in there is going to take 8 hours to dry, right? Well, same thing here. Got to kind of clear that out. So that whole little workshop thing, it's a 3-day thing. It takes a couple of minutes every day for 3 days, has a little workbook for you to go through, but it will help you clear a lot of that out. So, and other than that, I think I've covered everything. But yes, I promise there will be something to go along with this. So the couple of things that I completely forgot to talk about, like I said, I go a little off-roading, but my heart's in the right place. So there's different aspects about this that I wanted to go more deeply in. But let me just double check if I missed a good juicy quote that I forgot to say. Oh my gosh. This is the best one to end this one on. Back again to Dr. Wayne Dyer. Thank you, kind sir. This is a good one. The quote is, "You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be real." Now that, that's the kind of energy to end this on. So other than that, you guys, thank you so much. If you're still here, this is awesome. There's a lot of resources down below in the links. They're all free. I even have a free community called Empathically You that you can join and sign up for. And I've got different workshops and stuff coming up down the road, and you would get. So I say go ahead and hit subscribe to the YouTube, and then you will get the alerts because I'm going to be booking these different ones coming up. But other than that, from my heart to yours, guys, I send you so much love. Take care.